and we are going to be having a good time here today talking about
benefits that we do for veterans, compensation, pension, and health benefits. Told them what was happening. Very nice. They just walked us through it. Told us we had any problem to call them back, but we didn't. It's a very simple process.
Well, that's
but
great.
Sometimes we have to take matters in our own hands. When in charge, take charge.
That's right. That's right. So, I think a lot of people don't really know what the veterans, what you actually do. So, people can go and apply for their benefits themselves, correct?
Oh, yeah. Anyone can apply for benefits. But everyone in our office is accredited through the Veteran Affairs, through the governor's office, to do the benefits for the veterans. We are held accountable for what we do. The state, usually, anytime I have ever called the state, I have usually got help from them.
Right.
And there's just, like I said, so many different things for the claims. There's compensation, which is a service-connected disability to your service. When you was in service, you're saying that the service caused your disability. Then there's a pension claim that is strictly monetary and about your medical expense. You have to have different qualifications for pension, compensation, medical. We do the medical applications. We have to be familiar with how to pull their medical records, try to help them get their medical records, especially if they are civilian records instead of VA. It's sort of easy with the VA, but...
Now, how about, I know that one question I'm sure is right there for a lot of veterans on veterans' mind. Has there been any cutback on benefits? Are people, everybody's saying, oh, the veterans, this is going to get cut, that's going to get cut. Have you seen any of that?
There has not been any cuts for veterans unless the veteran applies for something. They might not get service connected for that, but that's been since day one, since
Right.
it started. But as far as cutting back monetary money for veterans, no, I haven't. You can do something to lose your permanent total, and you can also, if they call you down, I'm going to give you an example. Say you were a veteran and you come in with a heart issue, and for right now, they're going to give you 80% on your heart disability. But you have surgery or you do things and your heart is a lot better, then they might cut you back a little bit. So
So don't cure my problem then.
Well, that's not true. You want your problem cured.
Right.
But I'm just saying everybody is talking about, that we're going to get cut, our veteran benefits are going to get cut out. I have not seen it, and I have not seen any law or anything like that passed in that order either.
Sure. And there hasn't been any scuttlebutt coming down behind the scenes or anything?
Not that I know of. When you check it out, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's
Well,
nothing there.
that is good. That is good to hear. Now, as far as sometimes a veteran applies, I understand they apply, they get turned down, and this is where you can be a big help.
We can. Most veterans that come in, as a matter of fact, I had one today. He come in, he got turned down back in 2014. Well, he said, I want to reapply. You don't have to reapply. We'll just take it from there and go forward. But
what about all these years that he hasn't had any benefits, though?
Well, he or she allowed the claim to drop. But just because you get denied don't mean we can't go forth with the claim.
Right.
We have supplemental claims. We have higher level review claims. We have claims that we send to a law judge. And then I had a veteran, well, once it goes to that law judge, if they don't give it to me, then I'm out. No, you're not. Then you can take it to outside the VA to federal court. And Washington will give you a lawyer. So it's just don't, if you get denied the first time, just come back into the VA and let's follow through with that denial and try to help you get your...
Right. I think that's one of the biggest things because people just think a denial is a denial. And sometimes I know that you and I have talked before, you can go through and look at it and see that they didn't have a certain form that they should have had or a certain piece of paper that they needed to have.
The biggest thing with the VA is when you apply for a disability claim, a service connected, saying it's service connected to your military, you must have a diagnosis. You can't just come in and say, hey, I have hearing loss, and you've never been to the doctor. You don't have a diagnosis. They're going to deny that claim the first time. But
So they don't tell you what to do. They just deny, right?
They just, well, you don't have hearing loss. I mean, you don't have it.
Right.
And you've never, you've never been to the doctor about it. You've never been diagnosed with it. So how can they service connect that to your service? They don't really say you don't have hearing loss. They say they can't find a way to service connect it. That's where we come in, and we try to help them find a way to service connect it.
Now, how many people do you serve on like in a week or in a year, or what kind of figures?
It varies from time to time. It really goes by when the mail has come out from the VA. So sometimes we might not do anything, be that busy on Monday or Tuesday, but I can guarantee you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're going to be.
Right.
But a week, I say we see anywhere from probably around from 40 to 60 people a week.
That's a lot. That's a
that
lot.
is a
And
lot.
now, how many people
when
are?
we're busy? Some months are busier than others. I noticed that June and July, May too, they're pretty busy because we have certain things that have to be in by the end of July, like clothing allowance and things like that. That has to be in by that time, or you can apply for it for this year. So, we get busy like that. We are more busy than normal because we also do their tax exempt and their tags for them. So at the first of the year, when taxes are due and tags are due, then we're pretty stretched out there.
Now, the state has for all isn't it for all veterans? They have no income tax or reduced.
That's if each state is different.
Right.
The state of South Carolina, you must be permanent and totally disabled. You can't be just a straight 100% disabled. You have to be permanent and total disability to get your tax exempt. And you get your tax exempt on 2 cars and your home.
Okay, all right, but then on income tax, aren't they getting? I think they have done. The state has done something for veterans. I think.
I don't know. I think that might be in the House right now. I don't think that's passed yet. I've heard something about it, but I have not heard that it did go through.
All right. Well, anyways, we are a very veteran-friendly state.
We are, and Greenwood County is a very veteran-friendly county.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We have a lot of organizations here. We have a lot of things going on at the Veteran Center. That makes a difference when you're trying to do for veterans. Mm-hmm. But we also now have the National Guard over here. So I just think that we're just a very friendly county compared to some other counties with veterans. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a big thing, and I certainly appreciate the fact that you're there and you are constantly working to make that place better. I think
I am. When the Veteran Center first started, it was so much over there. When I got over there in 2014, I think it was just the most beautiful place. It was just very nice, and I liked it, and I want to keep it like that.
Absolutely.
And I want to keep it going. We got different things coming into the building now, and they're all for veterans, all of them. That's a veteran center, and that's the way it should stay. It shouldn't be any different.
Well, I think the tablets that are out there now are quite. That was, I think, the last time you were on. They were either going up or were up, and they are really have added so much. What do veterans say about them?
About the tablets they use to do certain things?
No, the out front, the granite.
Oh, the pavers.
The big tall
the panels.
Panels. Yes,
not
okay.
Tablets, panels.
Panels. Yeah. Well,
panels. What about them?
Well, I mean, how has that reception been for those?
Wonderful,
that was
wonderful. Everybody thinks it's beautiful. Everybody thinks the memorial is beautiful. They come and sit and just sit out there on the steps. Now, they don't too much in the summertime. It's too
Hot, right.
But I do know in the fall and in the springtime, we would go out and I said, "Ma'am or sir, can I help you?" We're just sitting out here at the memorial. But it's a beautiful memorial, and we have sometimes at Valentine's Day, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Some people put flowers on their little stones out there. It's real sweet. But I haven't heard anyone say anything negative against the memorial. It is very beautiful outside.
It is beautiful. So that's another thing. And you are constantly okay with you want to add other benches and stuff like that out there?
They are fixing to add a MIA POW bench out there.
Wow.
That will be added soon. We have more pavers to sell of all sizes. So we are still in the habit of doing that. And I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it's a great way to remember somebody.
Right.
Great way to remember somebody. So now, you work with a relatively small staff over there, too, don't you?
We do. We just hired another lady. We have 2 full-times, and in my budget this year, I got a part-time person, too. So I thank the county for that. So I will be hiring that part-time person in July.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. All right. As we talk about things that are happening and veterans now, do veterans need to make an appointment to come see you or?
No, ma'am. They can. If they think they're going to have something that's going to be real long, they can call in and say, "Hey, can I have an appointment?" Especially the veterans that we see that are out of town, that are not from Greenwood, which is a lot. I had 3 today. Mm-hmm. That came from different counties. They like to make appointments, and I like to make them appointments because they have a long drive here and a longer drive back sometimes. Sure. But no, you do not have to have an appointment to come to the Veterans Center to get waited on. You do not.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a veteran issue or you know somebody that has a veteran issue, the best thing you can do is to not try to do it on your own, but to come and let them, because you all are trained in how to look over the paperwork. Make sure you bring your paperwork, your DD-214. You need to bring all these things, right?
That's right.
And
and bring their military paperwork, whether it's medical or just personnel paperwork. Sometimes they don't think just their orders. Sometimes those orders can help Service Connect them where they were. So just bring it. Let us look through it. I'm so used to. I looked through them today, and we had a couple come in today. They just had questions. They have never applied, and just had some questions. So. Just please don't hesitate to do that. Come to the Veterans Center and talk with some of us.
Now, what are the hours of the Veterans Center?
We're open from 8:30 to 12:30. 12:30 to 1 we go to lunch, and we're open to 5, except on Fridays we go home at 4.
Okay. So plenty of time to go there. Now, since we're talking about the Veterans Center as a place, you also have this lovely museum there.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
do. And you were telling me about some of the people that have shown up at the museum. You get quite a group coming through.
Over the last few months, we've had a couple last week from the United Kingdom. And they were the
United Kingdom?
Yes, they were from... is it London?
London,
yeah, London. And they were there, and what they were doing, they were traveling, they said, from one end of the United States to the other, going into museums and trying different restaurants and stuff. And they were only, they had told me they were doing like 3 days going from one end to the other to see how long that would take them. But in Greenwood, they said they had stayed there. That was their 5th day. They had found so many different and unusual things they seen. They loved the museum. And that's what they did over in the United Kingdom was they run some museums over there, and they helped with, I can't tell you how many over there. But they were interesting to talk to, and we didn't know they were coming. They just popped in. And
they were very impressed with your museum.
They were very, very impressed, yeah. Since we're keeping the museum open a little bit longer than what we used to, we're open on Tuesdays from 9 to 4, Wednesdays from 1 to 4, Thursdays from 9 to 4, and Fridays from 9 to 4. And we will open up on the weekend if we have a group or somebody coming in there. We have a group of Girl Scouts coming in next week. But the DAV has been so nice to us, and they volunteered their time to come in and open that museum up a little bit more. And it is paying off. We have Lander visit. All the students come over there to visit, and it's a great thing.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful museum.
It is. And, I think it's neat because there's so much that is connected to us here locally. So many things that are local that people have donated. So if you want a good project to take your kids or grandkids looking for someplace cool to spend some time,
right,
it would be a perfect place, wouldn't it?
That perfect place for a museum. We have schools come in, and next week we also have some little 4K and 5K going to come in there. They want to see the planes and all that stuff next week, so we have that set up for them.
Yeah.
Well, it was already set up, but we're setting up. I usually have something like pizza or cookies or something for them when they come in, especially the children. We usually have something for them.
So you don't do adult lunches. I mean, let's just make that clear right now.
No, unless they're buying us lunch.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, I think the thing about the Veterans Center there, I mean, we do have to give Kerry Bolt kudos for his vision when he got the old library and was able to turn that into what it is today. The vision of and then, of course, Carol Scales and the group that helped start the museum there. It was a lot of work and a lot of
Fred
time.
Malone was our museum curator, and I miss him. He's not there anymore, but I sure would like to have him drop in and say, hey, I'm going to stay in the museum today. That would be very nice. But things change. And Kerry Bolt, yes, he did. They would not be a plaza or a museum or even the Veterans Center in that building if it was not for Kerry Bolt. That was his vision. He started with the Veterans Center. Mm-hmm. Then he had the museum, and then he started the plaza. Regardless of what you think or what you don't think, he is the founder of all of that over there.
Well, when I met Kerry, he was in Park Plaza in a very small office.
Oh, yeah. And, I don't see how he got in that office, but he did. But anyway, he started that over the Veterans Center, and he is the founder of that, the beautiful plaza outside. I know he had a lot of help from Jim Dominic, but it was Kerry's vision and Kerry's idea that got it started.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Malone could not have kept better records. He could not have, no one else could have done what he did for the museum.
Yeah. So if you haven't been there or you haven't been there in a while, you need to go by and see it. There are hours Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 4. Now, do you close it for that 12:30 to 1, or is that
if
open?
Somebody wants to come in, no, we'll let them in.
Okay.
We'll let them in for the museum. Like if they come on Wednesday mornings or sometimes like that when we're not open until 1 that day, but if they come in on Wednesday, see one of the staff, and we'll take you out there in the museum.
Sure.
It's not a problem.
So 9 to 4, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 1 to 4 on Wednesday. But they're very flexible over there. That's the deal.
Very flexible with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Rosalind, how many years have you been the Veterans Affairs Officer?
Well, the Veterans Service Officer, it was 5 years
Okay.
back in February. But with the VA, it's been 14 years.
Right.
I'm working on my 15th year.
So, well, that's great. That's great. So we've got some big events coming up here. We got one coming up in July. Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
That's our Veterans Appreciation Day that we've had every year for the last 5 years. This is our 6th one. And that's when businesses come together and they come into the VA. They get to set up a table and advertise on what they do. And most of them have the most unique tables. They're beautiful. But they have to have something free to give a veteran. Mm-hmm. I got my office manager and another lady that works on the phone. They're going out trying to get door prizes. Last year we had so many door prizes, and it looks like we're going to have that many again this year. But we have food coming, and it's where Greenwood businesses just pull together. And I tell you, the businesses that come, they have a ball with each other. I have a time where businesses can win prizes. and then a time for the veterans to win prizes. Mostly the veterans, but I'll do let the businesses in on that too.
Sure. And, it's a great way for people to be able to put out what services, things they do for veterans.
That's right.
Because so many times it's a part of their business. It may not be their whole business, but there's a part of their business. Now, is it filled, or do you still have any more room for any other businesses to come in?
We still have a few tables left. Yes.
A few tables left. So if somebody wanted to come in, and now you don't charge for the
Oh,
tables?
no, we don't. They can just advertise their business, and they can have a good time.
Right.
They will have a great time. And just
Have a
come in
giveaway
and
for
have
the
something.
veterans.
If you have a table, you must have something free to give a veteran. The door prizes come from businesses that can't come.
Right.
I'm going to give you an example. Lowe's. Now, Lowe's is going to donate some stuff. Eggs Up Grill. Hobby Lobby. They can't come, but they don't mind donating a prize for a door prize.
So that's it's a really fun event. Now, when is that?
That is July 16th.
Okay.
And from 11 until 2 that day.
And that's going to be
They'll start coming in about 10. So I'm asking all the businesses to go up, set up the day before so they can be there at 10 o'clock because the people start coming in at 10.
That's right. And then you do have a light lunch.
We do. We have, I'll tell you, the Faith Home always brings out hot dogs, and their hot dogs are delicious.
Right.
They always bring out hot dogs. We'll have Chick-fil-A nuggets. We'll have some chicken tenders from somewhere. We'll have trays of sandwiches. That's what we had last year. We had cake. Last year.
Oh, yeah.
Too,
I mean, it's good eats, honey.
It is.
Good
It's
eats,
good
honey. So you've got to put that down on the calendar. If you're a veteran, make sure you come by and enjoy. Have a good time. There's just a lot of camaraderie going on. And a lot of fun. Then, of course, you got the door prizes, and you may find a business that you didn't know that was veteran-oriented or veteran-friendly, and you may find out you get a discount or something.
Somebody's coming down from Dorn, the veteran hospital in Columbia, and someone is coming down from Augusta. Charlie Norwood in Columbia for the hospital. They're going to give out, no telling what they're going to give out, but
free beds? No.
Maybe they're going to give you a free bed. I don't know, but I don't know what they're giving out. But they'll give out something. They usually have pretty cute gifts to give out. But the issue there is that you can ask them questions that you might don't know, like some of people that go to Augusta or to Columbia, they might have questions about what they can and cannot do and what they need, but they will be there. And we do have some people coming out from the VA also.
Okay, so there will be people there that can help you with. Now, the last time when the VA came, one time or so, they actually were helping with claims. Will they be doing that?
They are not this time, but I think, and I don't want to step in somebody else's turf here, but on the veteran stand down, I think they might be doing
coming for that. Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about that because that's not my thing.
Right. But there is a veteran stand down, and it is going to be this year just for veterans.
Just for veterans. That's right.
And that's do you know when that's coming up?
I think sometime in October.
I was going to say October. So we'll be talking more about that. So that is coming up. And, the idea on that is to even veterans can help other veterans get to that event and get some help that they need.
If you know anybody that another veteran that may want to come or needs to come to that event to get some free things, then go by and pick them up. It saves on them having to find their way there and things like that. So
exactly.
Go by and pick them up and bring them.
Yep. So that is coming up in October, and we'll be talking more about that. So let's take a quick break. We are here with Rosalind Burke. She is the Veteran Service Officer over there at the Veteran Center right there in Uptown Greenwood. Always a beautiful place to visit and very friendly and helpful staff over there. So we're going to take a commercial break. You'll hear some music on Facebook. You'll hear some commercials on the radio. So let's take it away, and we'll be right back. That's right. We're right back here at WCRS Radio, having a good time talking with Rosalind Burke. She is the Veteran Services Officer right there at the Veteran Center. You could do yourself no better than to end up over there and let her help you because, they deal with this stuff every day. But we've had some questions about what type of services. But I want to discuss first with you, Rosalind, if you wouldn't mind. How much dollars does the claims that you do, bring into Greenwood?
Well, we're in July. We'll get a new report. But last July, we were bringing in $60 million.
How much million?
$60 million
$60 million
from veteran benefits into Greenwood County only.
That's huge.
It is huge.
That is huge. That is something to be congratulated.
It's over, but I don't know the exact amount. But
Sure.
it is $60-something million. I had checked on it back in July, and they don't give out those figures, but somebody sort of checked on it a little bit for me. But it is. I mean, we're going up in figures every year, and I think it's great.
Absolutely. And it's so that means those dollars are spent right here in Greenwood.
In Greenwood County, yes.
Yes.
One important thing, if you're moving into Greenwood County,
Yes.
come by the VA and let us at least just get you in the system. You might not need anything,
Right.
but let us get you in the system and get your address in the system. That's very important to
Sure.
any veterans that are moving into Greenwood County.
Why is it important?
Because otherwise, if they're still receiving mail or something, say, in another state, that's who is getting the benefit from the...
Even though their money is coming here and they're living
benefit
here.
from Greenwood County, even though they lived in another state and moved to Greenwood, we'd like to have them in our database. That's all.
Sure. So that is a great thing. All right. So one of the things you were telling me about before we went on the air is this thing about hearing aids, and being able to hear is important.
What? No, I'm just
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just saying. How many times have you spent talking? Well, I mean, I used to go through this with Jeff. What'd you say? I thought he was faking me out, but he really couldn't hear me. Yes. Anyways.
yeah, we do. We have Augusta, the Charlie Norwood Center, is coming down on the first and third Wednesday of the month. Mm-hmm. They usually start around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and they're there till 4. And they can do hearing exams for anyone, not just veterans, but for anyone.
Okay.
They can send hearing aids off to be repaired for anyone because they take all the insurance. And they can, best thing though is the hearing exams and sending the hearing aids off. They even cleaned, I can't tell you how many hearing aids when they were there the first of the month on Wednesday. They clean them, and that's really all they need. They thought they needed repair.
Right.
They have a little machine that cleans them.
Right.
I thought it was real neat. But they can do those 3 things, but the kicker to it, for the veteran, everything is free.
Okay,
but others, they bill their insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. But for the veterans, everything is free.
So this is a free service. Hearing aids, cleanings, hearing exams. And that's really important if you're trying to get somebody qualified for a benefit, right?
Very important. Very important.
So there's a really good thing. So, and where do they set up?
They set up right there in our office in our conference room.
Okay.
In the back. They set right up there. So just come into the front of the VA and we'll have a seat for you and you can. He's seen, I can't tell you, I think it was over 40 or close to 50 people last time.
And this is relatively new service that you've just started.
They've only been there once, but they'll be back next Wednesday. So
next Wednesday.
I think maybe this Wednesday. Yes.
This Wednesday, the first and the third Wednesday. Is that
That's
what you
correct.
said? Okay. Well, that will be tomorrow. Then.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Okay. So that's a big service. Now, if you are in need of having a hearing exam, they will do it if you're not a veteran, but it will have to be covered under your insurance.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that's pretty darn cool, and you don't need an appointment.
No.
You just come on in.
Just come on in.
Okay. So starting around 9:30 tomorrow morning till 4? Is that what
4, I
till
believe.
4? Okay, they will be there. So if you need assistance with your hearing aids, if you're saying these darn things don't work,
We hear that all the time.
I know. That's why I said it. Bring them by and let them look at it and see what the problem is. Maybe they just need to be cleaned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what they told me. So
Yeah. Okay.
they're very nice. They work very hard back there. So
Wow. Well, that's terrific. I didn't know about that. So that's a good one. All right. Now, you also have a lot of different veterans organizations that meet right there, and that's one of the
We do.
qualifications, right?
we have one organization, the American Legion. They meet for their meetings there at the Veterans Center downstairs, but they also have a breakfast every Wednesday morning, and I think it starts at 7. I'm not sure, it might be 7:30, but I know I will get a call about this as soon as I leave today. But they do a breakfast for veterans down there. So
Okay.
if you are a veteran and you want something to eat on Wednesday morning, then come
They have
and
coffee and biscuits,
coffee and
something like
biscuits,
that.
You know, things like that. Fruit. I think they have some fruit. But yeah, that's a great thing that happens there. We have the VFW that meets there, the DAV. We have the DAR and UDC, Marine Corps. They all meet down in the bottom, down on the bottom floor there. We also have a new business to us. It's not new to Greenwood, but you know, Park Plaza is being
Renovated.
Yes, renovated. So we're helping the county out, and we have economic development there. They're downstairs, and their offices are beautiful down there, and some of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet. So I'm excited. They started actually, I think last week, for a few days last week downstairs, but I'm excited, and we're able to help the county out with that. And we also have Mike Sudik, who is the Solicitor Stumbo's Veterans Court Officer. He meets with veterans that need to go through the Veteran Court program, and you know, some of them might be in jail or whatever, but he works with them to help them, and he does a great job. He's also a pathfinder for the Veteran Affairs, and he helps us a lot at the VA with the homeless. Or we sort of feel safer with him being downstairs, because I can call and say, "Hey, can you come up here for a second?" And he's right there. So that's a big asset for us downstairs.
Sure. Now, you also have a homeless kitchen cupboard type thing.
We do. Mainly for the homeless veterans, but if someone homeless comes in and they're hungry, then I definitely will give them some food. But that has picked up here lately. We're having probably 4 to 5 a week, you know, come in. That's 20 a month, you know. So it's picked up. We have food for them. We have hygiene materials for them. We have towels or blankets. We have tents that if they wanted a tent, we could get them one. Just different things like that for them that they can have.
That's true. Now, you also take donations for that, too,
We
right?
do. We do. We take monetary donations that we use to buy for the homeless, but you can donate the canned goods as long as the canned goods are in date. We don't give out anything that's out of date. Your canned goods are in date, and they have a pop-off top.
Sure.
It's
So you don't
easier
have
for
to
the
have
homeless.
a can
That's-
opener.
That's right. That's correct.
So that's another good thing here with the Veterans Center there. So, you know, I think it has to give you a great satisfaction to be able to do all these things for veterans, and to have a support staff, but also support
It does.
people, organizations, and everything that
It
work
does.
with you.
That's what we should be doing. We also have fingerprinting going on there the last Wednesday of every month. Fingerprinting, they come down out of Columbia. They do like fingerprints for CWPs, Sheriff's Department, job. So, because now you must have it fingerprinted for your job on a lot of jobs. They do it there at the VA the last Wednesday of the month. And we're excited about having them in there, because they always have a crowd. every single month. They always have a crowd.
Wow. There's just so many things going on at the Veterans Center. How do people keep up with what's going on at the Veterans Center?
We keep a schedule upstairs for everybody. We just we have to,
Right.
because we would have 4 or 5 organizations there at one time if we didn't.
Right.
But we keep a schedule upstairs, and we try to hold on to it. I have they have to come in to pick up a key, and they have to sign it out, and that's just security measures that we have. They have to bring it back and sign it back in. And that's just keeping good business and good security measures.
Sure. But it's also people finding out that all these services here. Now, do you have to be a veteran to be able to be fingerprinted?
No,
Is that,
we do
I
not.
mean,
That's for anybody.
Okay.
Just like economic development downstairs is for anybody in the county. And the hearing aids is for anyone that wants to have
So, I
questions
mean, these
about
are
hearing
things
aids.
that, you don't think of, but there is a, so if you're in need of any of these things, please make sure you check it out, because you'll be glad you did. Now, we've talked about the homeless, we've talked about the museum, we haven't talked about the Hall of Heroes coming up in August.
I was saving that for last.
Right,
but yeah.
exactly.
But, Hall of Heroes is coming up this year, and I hope that some of the people are listening when it's going to be. It's August the 23rd this year at the Performing Arts Center at 2 p.m. That is the last Saturday before the football games start the next Saturday. So I thought this year, and I got a little bit smarter, and I said, hey, look, I'm tired of hearing, well, we're going to go to Clemson, or we're going to be at Carolina that day, or we're going to Alabama. Okay, but this is the weekend before everybody starts. So
No excuses.
there's no excuse not to come to the Hall of Heroes program. It's a great program, lasts just a little bit over an hour. And we have food afterwards. We have finger food afterwards, and you get to see some of the veterans from here receive honor, and it's a great program. This year, my speakers are going to be local leaders in Greenwood County. So I'm anxious to hear what they have to say that's going on here. I'm anxious to hear what they have to say that is related to veterans that's going on at the state. Because some of these local state leaders live here,
right,
and represent Greenwood County, so they will be also speaking
That's
at
terrific.
the ceremony this time.
Now, this is going to be at the Greenwood Performing Arts Center.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was a beautiful choice last year.
Yes.
That was the first time.
And it will be a beautiful choice this year. The people over there do a wonderful job in setting up. That was about the easiest setup. I walked in and everything was done. I didn't have to do not one thing. I had to get a table, chair, anything. Everything was done. They was proud that we were there. Seats are very comfortable, so you can't say I can't sit on those hard seats, because they don't have any hard seats.
Yeah.
They are very comfortable.
And there's not a bad seat in the place.
There's not one bad seat in the building. No,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's true. So this is a time, and it is a time to bring children to this. We want,
It is.
you know,
You want to bring your children, and it's so what if they speak out? So what if they start crying? I mean, it's no big deal. It's not for the children to do that. They need to learn, but I can tell you they probably won't be. They will probably be just surprised and sitting there looking around.
right.
But
They
but
need
it's,
to
it
learn
is
about
a great
our
program.
yeah.
Mhm.
And each one of the veterans is honored. Their picture flashes up on the stage when they were young and they were doing these
That's right.
unbelievable things. And it's a
That's right.
moment that you may not have known what this veteran did for our country. But when you see the things, the heroics that have happened, how many people stood up, how many went at a very young age, it really is an amazing, amazing time. And I think if you look, when you see those veterans coming across the stage and they're given that proclamation from the legislature, they stand a little taller.
They sure do. Some walk that's not used to walking. Some we had one guy one year. He had a walker, and he carried his walker.
He carried his walker.
He didn't push it or roll it. He carried it. But he was just, they feel so good. They've been out of service for a long time. Seem to have been forgotten a little bit, and but they're not. They're not. As you can
Absolutely.
see, with the wars going on that we have now, our military should not ever be forgotten.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Absolutely. So it is a great program. Put it on the calendar. It's a Saturday afternoon, 2 to 3-ish.
2 to about 3:30.
Okay.
You know, the program might be over before then, but people sort of hang around up front. Last year they had the Performing Arts Center had it decorated so beautifully, but we had little finger foods out that they could get, and they wanted to make pictures. They have a beautiful place up there. They can make pictures
Absolutely.
in the foyer. So,
Yes.
yeah, they made pictures.
So come out and put that on the calendar. It's only an hour. It is an hour and a half before the football season. Come out. There's no charge for it.
No, there's
It
not
is
a charge for it.
your being there is what's important.
That's right.
And see people that you may never have known that they were in the military, and did this. Well, Rosalind, what is there anything else we'd like to reiterate? We've got the Veterans Appreciation Day coming up very soon.
right.
That's next
So
month.
we need to get if you have a business and you want to come to Veterans Appreciation Day and set up a table, we need to know as soon as possible. You can call me, but you can also call Kayla, who is my office manager. She's doing a pretty good job with setting up all the tables.
What's the
and all
telephone
that.
number over there?
It is 864-450-9268.
Okay. So make sure that if you'd like to, if you're a veteran, do things for veterans and you're a business, you've got to bring something, a giveaway for the veterans, but there is no charge for doing this. And, how many veterans will come through there? I mean, it's quite
Well,
a bit.
last year we had 500 veterans come through. Well, I will tell you this: we put out 400 plates to start with, and then we had to put out another 100. So it was between 400 and 500. We've never had any less than 300 come through.
So it's a great opportunity to bring what your service is, what help you can bring to veterans. And if you've never been to the museum over there, go to the museum. What a great way for kids. I think kids can really appreciate and learn a lot.
They do. They have a great time when they come.
And
great time.
From the pup tent to the
To the airplanes overhead.
to the weapons. I mean,
To
there's
the Indian headdress.
And
to
that
all
is
what
huge.
that means to the military. Yes, so that's a huge thing. So it's a lot of different things. It covers all the wars that we've had.
Yeah,
All of
and
them.
there's even a section on women.
They are a whole section, whole side over there. for
Right,
women,
yeah. So pretty neat, and so many people have relatives and everything that have served. I think South Carolina. I'm from Maine, and I can tell you quite frankly, I never had that much association with the military growing up. When I came down here, I mean, it was like everybody has some connection to the military.
Well,
And
in
that's
Greenwood
South
County they do.
Well, I mean,
I can
South
tell you,
Carolina,
South Carolina is a military state.
Right.
So, yes.
And
very much
so very, very different. So please honor our veterans. Please help our veterans if you can. Drop off some pop-off top food over there. Give a monetary donation if you can. Now, let's talk about one more thing because we kind of wait to the last minute to talk about it. After we've got the Veterans Day Parade coming up, and then you'll have the Christmas tree lighting.
We do. We're going to have one this year. We didn't have much in attendance last year, but we're going to try to advertise it during the Christmas parade. I'm on. If it might be you, I have walk in the parade with a big sign.
Right. Well, I'll be advertising. I'll be talking about it. But
We
yeah.
honor some veterans in honor and in memory. And we do always have little snacks out for people to eat and stuff like that. So we are going to have a Christmas tree lighting. It will be the same day as the Christmas parade. It'll be right after the parade.
Correct. But what's the symbolism behind it? Because people can have
We have a light. We put lights on the tree. Like if we have 500 names, then we put 500 lights on the tree.
right.
But we have in honor, in memory. Some people do it in honor of all active duty soldiers. And then we put their name on a scroll, and that scroll stays up all year for that.
So that's a really neat thing.
It
That
is.
yeah, that we get so busy at Christmas time. I think we're going to have to
know.
start talking about it earlier,
we
and
do.
so that people will know about it, and some of our youth organizations and everything can get involved. That would be very cool
Yes.
too.
Some of the youth organizations, like some of them might want to be involved in the ceremony itself, all you got to do is come to the VA and tell us, and we'll work out something with you.
Absolutely. So, Rosalind, this has been truly great to have you
Thank
here
you so
today.
much for having me. We always remember, keep your military strong.
That's right. That's
it.
right. And I think that is so true as you see what's happening over there in the Middle East.
And don't forget them.
And
Don't forget about them. That's right.
That's right. And when you see somebody with a hat, or you know that they were in the military, speak to them. They
That's
love
right.
to have that remembrance
Yes, they
for
do.
what they did
Yes.
for our country. And what did you think of the parade Saturday that they had in Washington? Did you?
Well, I got to watch a little bit of it. It was different.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different. It was okay, but it was different.
I thought it was quite outstanding, the pride that all these different, you could tell the military people that were marching in the parade or in the some of the vehicles and everything had a lot of pride.
Oh yeah, they always do, and they have every right to.
Absolutely.
When they fight for our country, they have every right to be mad, to be happy, and have pride.
Right.
They have every right to do those.
And so I just thought it was really nice, and really put a lump in your throat when you saw things like that. Just like what you'll see when you are at the Veterans Hall of Heroes.
That's
You'll get
right.
a lump in your throat when you
You
see
laugh
these guys.
sometimes and you cry sometimes, but it's a great event. So I hope everyone. I hope we don't have a seat left in there.
Absolutely.
Hope everyone will come out. I do want to give a high five to Lakeland's Antique Car Show with Jeff Owens in charge. They really support our homeless program there at the VA. And reason I didn't see a lot of that, I came to the car show on Saturday, and it was awesome. Awesome cars. They're all vintage cars. Awesome cars
absolutely,
there.
yeah.
It was great.
Absolutely. And should be getting, usually get a nice check from them.
I do. I will probably at the Hall of Heroes this year. So, yeah.
So that's a really good thing. So there's a lot of ways to give back, a lot of things. I think a lot of times a lot of people are out there doing lots of little things, and they do it because of their love for veterans.
That's right. They do.
And that's
a great
important.
thing.
Absolutely. Well, Rosalind Burke, thank you
you.
so much for coming out here
Thank
today.
you for having me on. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for me today. Tomorrow afternoon on Meet Me at the Diner, we're going to have Representative John McCravey is going to join us and talk about all kinds of things that are happening in the legislature, all things that have been happening this past session in the legislature. So you need to tune in at 5 o'clock for that. I'll be back tomorrow morning. On Thursday afternoon, Toby Chappell, our county manager, and Theo Lane will be joining us to talk about the budget and so many other things that are going on in the county. So please come make sure you join us right here on WCRS. That's going to do it for me. Have a great evening, and I'll be back in the morning right here on WCRS.